it meant anything goes. Anyone could die, anyone could fall in love, anyone could die, anyone could fall in love, anyone could die, anyone could die.
Agent Apocalypse.
Concept was so cool.
Agent Apocalypse.
Concept was so cool.
People couldn't believe it. They had to believe it. People couldn't believe it. They had to believe it.
Everything that you hit on the known level. Out the window. Everything that you hit on the known level. Out the window. Everything that you hit on the known level. Out the window.
I'm Jeremy Greer.
And I'm Gary Butterfield.
And this is Days of Future Cast, the podcast where Gary and I are covering all things Age of Apocalypse. We're talking about Gambit, Gary. Your favorite X-Men?
No.
Come on. You got a YouTube series. You got an outfit. Come on,
just because I dress up as him doesn't make him my favorite.
Wow. Wow.
My favorite X-Men is always canonically long shot. A long shot. But I like Gambit a lot.
Yeah.
I don't like is the Shi'ar, but I do like this comic.
I don't like this too.
I think it's very funny that Xavier died. So did Lalandra.
That's what we call an unhealthy codependent relationship, my friends.
Yeah. And one of those suicide Imzadis. And then I think it's very funny that because Xavier died, Lalandra's evil sister is a good guy now.
Yeah, of course.
Lalandra's evil sister is Cyclops' dad.
Yeah.
Took his job.
Fucking crazy, dude.
Pretty cool.
So this is Gambit and the X-Ternals 2. Our cover is much like the covers on a lot of these number 2 issues that we've been covering, which is just like some dudes fighting each other.
Yep.
This has Strong Guy, Gambit, Gladiator, and Wolf Boy, I'm going to go with.
Do not remember the name of this guy.
Yeah.
He's the Wolverine-like Imperial Guardian.
Yes.
Of the Shi'ar. As you know, the Gambit was charged, him and his crew were charged with going and stealing the Macran crystal using Lila Cheney's
yes, which she can only use when she's naked.
Apparently so. We're going to get into it. How quickly they dress her up and how they dress her up is one of my favorite things that happens in like all the comics we've read.
Where did that outfit come from is the question we have to be asking ourselves.
Why? It's very detailed for something they just threw together.
So yeah, we start off kind of in the middle where she has teleported them to a alien planet and nobody knows where they are or what is going on. Sunspot though has pointed out the fact that on the next page there's a whole group of guys waiting for them somehow.
Yep. The Shi'ar Imperial Guard.
Yes.
The entire thing. So
and we recognize some of these people from like New X-Men.
Yeah.
Like, Oracle is here. Gladiator is here.
Hmm?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Various. Yeah. That wolf guy. And, they don't know what's going on. They're having a hard time and they're like, Lila Cheney got us here, but she's knocked out.
Yes.
Unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to get her back. And this starts a fight. Beforehand, there's a little bit of subplot stuff with Lila Cheney starting to collapse, and Strong Guy just ditches Jubilee, like to save her, and Jubilee teases him about being in love with her.
Yeah,
so that's our weird little subplot here, and him being the bodyguard that's in love with her, and her getting Gambit.
Also, along for the ride is Richter, who is a prefect and was chasing the X-Ternals, who sees these Imperial guards who tell them to surrender themselves and immediately is all hands up.
I love that panel.
Yeah, it's so good.
Like immediately with his ridiculous musculature.
I'm surprised that
he
his
looks
arms
so scared
go
and weak,
down.
Yeah, how can you be surrendering? Like you want to surrender with dignity, so you're like, let me oil myself up real quick and like flex surrender.
Absolutely. Oh man. And of course, Sunspot's being Sunspot, where Sunfire, Sunspot. Which one is he? I can never remember.
Sunspot.
Thank you.
Yep.
He's like, what did you get us into, Gambit? Like, this is always how it is with you. We're way out of our depth. And Gambit's like, yeah, we're going to solve this the way that we solve everything, which is running away. And of course, the Imperials chase. And there's a lot of like, you guys are cowards, face us and surrender with dignity. And as they're chasing those guys, Richter just gives up to the other group that stays behind.
Yeah. Richter immediately surrenders because that's his thing.
Mm-hmm.
It needs a boot to lick. They tease him about that later. One of the, again, they take turns. X-Men take turns when they fight, which is why X-Men Tactics is great. Somebody named Starbolt, one of the Guardians, comes up and decides to zap Sunfire. Sunfire can, or Sunspot, fuck, now you got me doing it. Sunspot can absorb the solar energy. So he's like, you got Star in your name. This isn't going to work. And it's real great. He just blasts him. He's like, by Key3's claws, as he falls over. Pretty fun. Sunspot is like, I'm talking to an alien. That's fucking weird. There are aliens and I'm talking to one.
It's got to be really like just a really overwhelming thing of like, oh, my friend is naked and teleported me to a different planet. There are different planets. I'm on one.
Yes.
There's aliens.
Speak English. They want to kill me.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot, dude. Like, imagine going through all of this.
Big day for Sunspot.
On the other side of this, Gladiator is coming after them with a hunk of rock, because Gladiator does not have much imagination despite having a lot of powers. And aren't his powers based on like belief and imagination? But yeah, at least, anyway.
It's based on the belief in the cause. So his powers are how self-righteous he feels. Like if he believes he's doing right, he has like basically like unlimited power.
Gotcha.
Is to make him doubt. So I assume that will come into play, or I assume that would come into play until everybody turns into a crystal statue.
Yeah.
During this. So maybe not.
They put one piece of clothing over Lila as Strong Guy like shoves her behind him into Gambit because he's coming. Gladiator's coming with the rock, and he smashes Strong Guy, who he thinks is like, oh, that's done, and Strong Guy comes up with "'Tis Not Mohawk," which is
he's like "'Tis Not Mohawk."
"'Tis Not Mohawk" is a great band name, Gary. That's fucking dope.
I like "'Tis Not Mohawk." I also like that this throwing stones in glass houses thing, because how would you describe what Strong Guy has instead of hair?
I get that, dude. That's a mohawk. That's a mohawk is what he's got.
It's like a ellipses as mohawk. Like, it just seems like it would require tons of maintenance.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have 3 little dots of hair in a mohawk lion. Strong Guy's powers, of course, are to absorb like kinetic energy to get. The comics, there's this whole thing about him, like his heart not being able to take the strain. I think they're ignoring that.
Sure.
Because I think Gladiator hitting him probably would have been harder for him in the real version. But now he just punches him.
And with Gladiator the way, our crew can escape into a seemingly innocent-looking forest where they immediately start cutting into trees and complaining about things. And of course, the trees come alive and try to eat them. But during all of this, Gambit is trying to put on a good face for everybody, but realizes he is way in over his head. He has no idea what to do right now.
I love that he slips into Gambit accent, because it's like, the thought bubbles are like, Gambit is awestruck. He's out of his head, trying to decide what to do in the situation. And then he says like, we're screwed. And then Strong Guy's like, what was that? And he goes, was a good move. This'll make like to catch a breath. Like he goes back into the accent. It makes me think he's faking his accent. Because I think the real Gambit would not say we're screwed. Like Gambit doesn't use contractions. He would have said like we screwed.
Yeah, we screwed Sherry. Yeah, if he was actually trying to speak it. Yeah.
But this is he wasn't faking it anymore.
I was outside talking to my neighbors the other day. It just like having a conversation with them or whatever, and then came back inside, and Autumn called me, and she said, typical, like, I'm coming home, do you need anything, blah, blah, blah. And we got to talking, and she's like, where have you been? Like, you're talking hick to me right now. And I'm like, look, okay, I'm in sales and I mirror people. It's just an instinct. I can't help it. Like, this is what I do. She's like, well, don't do it anymore. You sound like a hick and I don't like it. I'm like, okay, fine.
You're not good.
Nope.
So they're going through, all the plants come to life.
Yes.
As we mentioned, they grab everybody.
And we
to the Guardians here. Yeah. One of them, like a real like evil looking, Guardian who I don't know, who pops in, and they're like, oh, we're fucked. We have to let the council know, and they're going to punish us. we don't have to punish them. There's this one Richter who betrayed them. He tells us that he can follow them.
Before we move away from the goblin that is green, but is not the Green Goblin, are these dreads? Are these metal weird alien dreads that are coming out of his underneath his helmet? Like, what is?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you looked at that helmet, he'd be all.
He'd be shaved.
Dreads under there.
He's got the dread mullet.
He could have a dread mullet.
And I mean that
in the Shi'ar Empire, it's like fear my dread mullet. He's in the Shi'ar Empire never went out of fashion because Xavier died. So he was the one who told them to reconsider their haircuts.
Xavier dying brings the white mullet back into fashion? No.
Yeah. One of the things that Xavier did that nobody really gave him credit for was go around and tell everybody what fashions were good and which ones were bad. Especially in hairstyles. That's why he was bald, because he had to remain neutral presence.
You graduate from college and Xavier just shows up and takes all of your Rasta gear, and it's like its time is over for you. You can't
down
do
your
this
Bob
anymore.
Marley poster.
Yeah, you're white. You can't do this in the real world.
Yeah, this isn't for you. Just he takes it down.
But Charles,
because he died. Charles, you can wear dreads if you like, Charles. Yeah. So they say they can use Richter, and Richter's apparently can track them. We cut back to the X-Ternals, who are all tentacles, and somebody finds them here. They start talking about like the life form Chakrishara, and there start being some Shi'ar words.
Yes, a lot
in
of
this that I just skimmed past.
Oh yeah,
and I don't remember a lot of Shi'ar political. This is a guy. I think this is from Shi'ar subplots, but I don't remember him.
Yeah, this is when we recorded the last episode, and I was talking about like, this dude is talking, and I don't know who he is. Am I missing some context? And I'm just like, no, I'm not, because he dies at the end, so I don't care. Like, I guess if you were a super this guy fan, like you were losing your mind right now because he's a warrior.
Yes.
Like, oh fuck yes, yes. But like we're just gonna get past it. Notably, Lila here is like, it's not like I felt something when we came here. This planet was calling to me. It wanted us to come here to see something.
We wanted to come here, but also the planet wanted to show us something.
Yeah,
which is weird. Like the Macran crystal has a sentience.
Yes. We go back over to Richter, who reveals that he has a tracking device. Oracle scans his mind, but during that process, she kind of detects that something's about to happen, and we get a weird blink. And
yes.
Where everything ceased to exist for a moment, and it kind of throws everybody for a loop.
They should never have made Blink the sound effect for that, because that's the sound effect when Blink uses her powers.
Yeah, come up with a better one.
So
Scott lobbed it.
Yeah, this just feels like okay. I think this is a Fabian Knightsia.
It is. But he had creative control. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he was the architect of the line at this point. What's happening is because of the Macran crystal, there's a thing called a null wave that's going through and erasing planets. So then we're going to learn more about this. Being totally honest,
me too.
As a subplot of Age of Apocalypse, so I'm completely in the dark. I don't remember where that pays off.
Man, I just saw a TV show where like a wave of things was going through the universe and erasing stuff, and I can't even remember what it is right now. Like that's how like all of the media that I watch is all just into weird shit right now. Like I just don't remember any of it. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's sci-fi stuff too. There's just like tropes.
Yeah,
become a thing. So Richter says like, "What's in it for me?" And this, I think that to live. I think it's a pretty good point, because it does seem like the entire Super Guardian crew could probably steal this tiny little cell phone from Richter. He threatens to shake it apart with his vibro energy, but I also feel like you got a psychic on your team, right? Like turn off Richter's brain and take.
Yeah, or like, can he make it shake apart if you cut off his arm? You know what I'm saying? Like it'd be just floating in the air Richter. At that point. Yeah, cut off that dude's head. Like I'm not like why? Yeah. Like we are the Shi'ar. We could use your fucking GPS. We can use Find My iPhone, Richter. Like we know how to use Find My iPhone.
Yeah. We have Garmin technology here.
Steve Jobs was a Shi'ar technician. He just left
because Xavier died. So what Richter bargains with him, Richter says, what I want out of the bargain is, since these guys are criminals from my world, I'm basically like you. When you're done with them, let me take them back to my world to justice.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to become a prelate. If you remember, he's trying to get a promotion.
Yes.
We go back to the crew in the plant zone. This is where Leela Cheney was given like an X-Men costume.
Yeah.
By this group.
But in the last 5 seconds.
And they braided her hair.
And they braided her hair.
I love it so much.
And gave her like a little like super fist shield thing. Like it's wild, dude.
Yeah, it's very funny.
So this is Jonath.
Yes.
So he was
half Shi'ar and half Mephisto.
Mephistoid.
Like Mephistoid parents. Like he's a half devil man, half Shi'ar.
And Mephistoid was created by Mephisto mating with the Noid and creating an entire planet of creatures.
Of pizza creatures.
And they had to put them in their own planet, and the planet eventually became sentient. So,
yeah. As was what happens when you kill Xavier. And they talk about, reality is being unmade from these things. And we learn a little bit about Shi'ar stuff. The Emperor Dakan, who is Lilandra's evil brother, most of the Shi'ar stuff, along with Deathbird, is now the person who rules the Shi'ar. They killed Lilandra. Lilandra's dead, and Dakan discovered the Macran crystal power.
But he doesn't have control over it. So as he's been using it, he's losing control over it, and that's what's calling this like universe to be unmade. And this is the next sector that is going to be nullified. I do really appreciate this scene where Jubilee grabs the cigarette out of Gambit's mouth and just proceeds to yell at him as fast as she can. Like it's very good to me. And Gambit's face
just
here
grabbed
is
the
like,
burning end as well.
I know, dude.
Like,
it's fucking
like
hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just love Gambit's face here where he's just like, whoa.
Yeah. What the? Calm down. And all of his crew are saying like, hey, this is Firefly, not Star Trek. Like we don't get involved in shit like this. We're thieves, we're over our heads. Jonath is saying like, you guys are here. Like you'll do what you need to do. And they're like, actually we don't. We're here to steal a rock. And this kind of discussion about the existential nature of the X-Ternals gets interrupted by Richter and the Guardians, Imperial Guard, coming in. And they start having a fight.
Yes.
Here. This is where Sunspot just tells Richter, he's like, you're always going to have a fear to serve. Like, you can even go to an alien planet and you can't not lick boots.
Yeah.
Good
stuff. There's a lot of like, you guys are traitors or cowards from the Imperial group. There's some gene joke slurs thrown around.
Yep.
Gambit is like, hey, Lila, you need to get us the fuck out of here. And Strong Guy is like, what are you talking about? She can't get naked right now. She's in the middle of everybody. We just got her dressed.
Did you see her costume? I'm not going to unbraid her hair.
Actually, Strong Guy is like, I will immediately unbraid her hair if you need me to.
Yeah, I will undress her if you need me to.
Yes. And then like on the next page, like because they get like a big blink, it's like, oh wait, like I do need you to get out of here. Maybe you could do something, because Lila is starting to feel this planet like dissolving to nothing as everyone starts turning to crystals. And like there's this weird thing where this guy Jonath is like, I don't want to die in a fight. I want to die as a man of peace. And I'm like, well, I mean, like it's a little too late to get your fishing pole out, dog. Like, what do you want to do?
You realize that everyone around you is turning to crystal.
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah.
It's seconds to become a man of peace. So everyone's turning into crystal. Everyone's freaking out. Nobody likes it. Sunspot's trying to come up with solutions. Like, maybe this is solar radiation. I can absorb it. Like, that's your fucking answer to everything. Crystals show up. Everyone is dying, but then they start fading away. Richter does not get crystal just yet. He's like, oh no, they're being, look, Gladiator, they're vanishing. And it goes over, and they've been rescued by who are the same, except instead of Corsair, it's Deathbird.
Yeah. And presumably Deathbird is in the relationship with the woman with the tail, which is fun and good.
Yeah. It's Deathbird is probably now the with the cat lady. Mm-hmm. There's also I can never remember, and then Chode, the big guy.
Can't never forget Chode.
Can never forget Chode. Chode. So they've been rescued. They're on the Starjammer ship. There's a little bit of banter between Deathbird and the computer, the ship. And they, she's like, yeah, Jonath and his people were good like resistors. this is a waste, but we have to get out of here.
Yes.
And here's where Gambit decides to be a good guy by smashing some of the machine. I didn't really understand this. Did you understand what Gambit was doing to like declare his?
No, not at all.
He smashes into a panel and pulls out a bunch of circuits. And it's like, are you playing to fight the Starjammers?
Yeah, didn't really,
because that doesn't seem right.
Because like I guess like he was maybe there, but it couldn't be the tracker, right? Because like it's not the tracker that Richter had because it's on the Starjammer ship. So I don't know what he's doing. I have no idea here. Also, like the ship tells them that another ship escaped and is running away, and they're like, "Yeah, we're going to ignore that." And I'm like, "Well, that's the villain for the next issue, my man. Like, you should probably take care of that."
Don't ignore that.
Yeah, I don't understand what Gambit is doing in this scene at all, because he literally like just rips out something and like explodes it, but like what is it?
Yeah, as he declares that he's going to save the universe.
Yeah.
So pretty weird. That is kind of an odd ending.
Mm-hmm.
But in a general sense, again, pretty fun issue.
Yeah.
Sunspot's here. Alarm operating on,
sure.
and I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, this is okay. Like I said right before we started recording this episode, like this kind of remains the fun issue for me. It's all like this is probably my favorite run right now. You mentioned that the Factor X stuff gets good, which I'm looking forward to, but that this like for whatever reason, like I'm really into this crew, like Gambit and Strong Guy and Sunspot. Like I think and Jubilee are a really fun group, and Lila occasionally has clothes on, so bonus points.
Yeah, that's great. One thing I might kind of hazard a guess as to why it's landing well for you, or one thing that I like a lot about it, is that it's only like the team is 4 people.
Yeah,
it's pretty easy to get your head around.
Mm-hmm. And even with the space stuff, it's like, oh, okay, like that you are just like talking to space people to go get a space rock, and then like I'm done. Like I don't need to worry about any of this space stuff really mattering.
Yeah,
that much.
it's self-contained.
Yeah, and
so is Generation Next, but it's incomprehensible. So pretty hard to understand. So it's pretty different kind of thing.
Yeah. So that's it. Generation Next #2 will be next on the podcast. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, we have Duckfest 2. What did you say? Mm-hmm. Inside the CompuServe? What is the subtitle?
The Compu Realm.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Subscribe to CompuServe, everybody.
Yeah, Duckfest 2. Subscribe to CompuServe.
I wonder if anybody that listens to this podcast would get a CompuServe joke in 2020. Like I feel like
there have to be. If we're the oldest people involved in this podcast, like listeners, that's too much for me, man.
Yeah.
I don't know that I can handle that.
If you know what CompuServe is, at William Hughes on Twitter.
I was thinking about the fact that I'm turning 40 pretty soon, so I get to go have all 40. You have to go, like the doctor puts his finger in your butt and shit.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like I had to go do all of like the serious examinations. Like I had to start worrying about my prostate.
Yep.
Instead
Instead of just pleasuring it. That's the problem.
Yeah. Instead, like right now, it worries about me.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to raise it.
Prostate is like, not now, Gary. Jesus Christ, have a rest.
Like,
haven't you ever heard of a refractory period, Gary? Meet my new character. It's a hand sock that I called Gary's prostate.
Yeah, it's the new character, Refractory Period. It's my code name. Like I just busting into a room and that in a big X-Men font, like declaring your power.
Professor Xavier is a jerk. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
I bit longer.
Maybe it'll be 7 if you do something a little freaky. I don't know.
I can wait. I'm patient.
Pretend to be your sister. I'll get there in 5.
Anywho. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.